Good morning. So I guess today we're talking about beams, and in this case, this fireplace mantle, which was kind of thought about when it to match these beams up here, which we put up. I actually put this one up myself, just me. Weighs about 1,200 pounds. So this fireplace mantle is about 300 pounds. It's a little tough for me to shoulder press. I mean, I can do it, of course, but so anyway, had a new hire here at the Homestead come out, and he gave me a hand lifting it up. And fortunately, we already had this scaffolding for, well, some of the beam work. So it worked out perfectly in terms of the height, because we needed something to be able to hold it up there. The install was a bit hairy. These beams they all came out of barns, presumably like in Wisconsin and whatnot. So it's all reclaimed timber, and actually came from the same place that manufactured the floor. All of our flooring is a reclaimed timber as well. So to put the beams up, we had some challenges. As you can see, this has already been rocked, so impossible to know where the studs are. And I actually didn't really think there were any studs in the middle of it. We did end up finding a couple, just purely by chance. Behind the beam, there used to be a mantle up there, cherry, because this whole house was filled with cherry, kind of like these stairs over here. All the woodwork was cherry, and then we're converting that to metal, so it's another project. But so there was a mantle. We took that down. There was a 2x4 up there that mantle was attached to, that was originally installed when the fireplace was built. So we had to find a way to take this irregular beam, nothing on it is square, nothing's flat, and attach it. But we also had the challenge of having all these rocks jut out at various depths. So I ended up building out the 2x4 that was there simply with another 2x4 over the top to provide enough depth to get the side of the beam out on top of the rocks, so we're not rocking it. We have it as flat against the wall as we can. And then to be able to mount it, I actually drilled holes into both the double 2x4s in the chimney. In the process, found 2 studs back there, so we were able to get through at least 2 studs, and then drilled like 6-inch holes, or 5.5, 6-inch holes into the beam itself. And then we matched up the 2 holes. I used a piece of cardboard, which I can show you. We drilled the holes in the 2x4s first, and then I took a piece of cardboard and I put this up to where the holes were, and then we actually painted around the holes so we could transfer the holes to the cardboard, and then we put the cardboard onto the beam, and then we drilled the holes in the beam. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, I'm just saying that's the way I did it, because I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. But it worked out fairly well, with one slight exception. We had an issue with one of the holes here in terms of it wasn't exactly correct. We used, I don't know if I have any more here. I don't think I do. Anyway, we used all thread. It's like 7/8 inch round, thick all thread, which is like, just think of it like a bolt, but without a bolt head on it. So good thick one. Cut that down. I got that at the hardware store. Cut that down into, I guess it was 12-inch pieces. So 6 inches going into the chimney, 6 inches going into the block, the beam, and there's 4 of those holding it on there. Should be strong enough. Like I said, the beam's around 300 pounds, give or take. I was able to hang off of just one of those all threads sticking out of the chimney. So presumably, I mean, I'm not that heavy, but presumably that'll hold right now. So we've got, and then Josh and I put on construction adhesive onto both ends of the all thread, because there's nothing actually attaching it per se. It's just half of it's in the chimney, half of it's in the beam. So cemented that in with some construction adhesive. Still have this supporting the beam, and then I'm going to have to use, I don't know if you can actually see, but there are gaps obviously in here. So I'm going to have to shim. I'm going to have to shim all along the bottom of that, just to keep the beam from wanting to kind of tilt back, if that makes sense. towards the chimney. And then I was thinking I'm gonna use some expanding foam underneath behind there, because there are a lot of gaps in there, and just kind of fill it all the way kind of to the beam. I may end up having to cut some of the expanding foam off once it dries, and then we'll take and find a cement, something that kind of matches coloring as close as we can to the mortar already used here with the rocks, and then mortar or cement all the way around the beam, and that will further lock it in. Not that it's going to move anywhere at this point. You could probably, I was telling Josh that my goal is I want to be able to dance on top of it when we have parties. That's where I'm going to be up there, you know, doing my shimmy. But yeah, so that's mantle install 101.